Welcome to MagicGatheringStrat. I'm Dan. It's time to review the black commons for M15 draft. Flesh to dust. Well, Murder was quite overpowered and Doomblade was not a common in M14. So this is what we get, Flesh to dust. And the sad thing is that it is excellent. It is definitely the best common. It does kill Ancient Silverback, but it's so expensive. So the question I am wrestling with right now is how many of these would you main deck? You often don't get more than 2. But if you did, would you play them all? I'm not sure. What do you think? The second best black card is Accursed Spirit. It just does a whole lot. Intimidate is very powerful, and that's why you should play Bronze Sable in your deck if you have them. This and Krenko's Enforcer. And this is often the way you win with your black deck. Sign in Blood, a lot better than Divination, in my opinion. Just getting the card advantage quickly, very good. Don't main deck the colorless lands, the one that gives life, etc. Stay away from those. Covenant of Blood, finisher, as well as a removal spell. Very expensive and gets better in if you have many cheap creatures. I often find that it's better than usual and absolutely better than M14 to play a lot of 2-drops and 3-drops. And this is a way to reward yourself for that. It's also a way to reward yourself for playing Typhoid Rats. Typhoid Rats will stop attacks on the ground. I often find that I sideboard out my Typhoid Rats against certain decks. But I will main deck a couple. They help with the Covenants. They help with other Convoke stuff. I'm not too impressed by Carrion Crow. It is a 2/2 flyer for 3 mana, but it's often very relevant that it comes into play tapped. If you're falling behind, if you're the control in the matchup, you are really not happy to see the Carrion Crow. Rotfeast the Maggot has a couple of decks where it is really excellent. If you can do the green-black thing, it's really good. If you have Gravediggers and can get back your Rotfeaster Maggots, there's a lot you can do. It's also good against the Graveyard deck. But it's still a 5-drop, and there are plenty of good 5-drops in Magic 2015. I have a soft spot for Child of Night. I find that it's blocking a Borderland Marauder with the Child of Night is party time! And getting the life can often be very relevant, but it's still just a 1 toughness creature, which means that it dies easily. Being black saves it from Fester Gloom, which is of course an advantage. Shadowcloak Vampire, another 5-drop. I prefer the Rotfeast the Maggot. I know other people prefer the Vampire. I say aggressive decks benefit more from the Shadowcloak Vampire, defensive decks more from the Rotfeast the Maggot. Which is familiar, also very defensive card, but still getting that 3-drop, being able to block all the 2/2s, pretty good. Crippling Blight, good against Child of Night, good against a lot of stuff in the format, but I often find that I start it in the sideboard and bring it in. Soft Shade seems out of place in this set. It's a great late game card, but it's so expensive. And if you put it down on turn 4 and just block a Roonclaw Bear, you are not happy. But it is better than Necromancer's Assistant, that being 1 toughness for 3 mana, it's so hard. It does block Juggernauts, and it's a better defensive card than aggressive, which is common to many of the black cards. As Triplicate Spirits is the best common in the format, main decking a Fester Gloom should be okay. Don't feel great about playing 2, so number 2 and 3 stays in the sideboard. People are so happy when they get to play Necrobite, but it's just a combat trick for 3 mana, and you don't get to protect your Voltron like you did in Theros Block. So not impressed. I don't main deck them very often. Unmake the Graves is too expensive. Against control decks, yeah. But I would prefer a card like Rummaging Goblin against them. I have had so much success with Mind Rot that I have to pinch myself in the arm because Mind Rot is not that good a card. It seems like card advantage, but once you top deck it, when both players are top decking, which is very common in draft. You hate your mind rot. But if there are bombs you cannot deal with, if you play against control deck and like to have a lot of cards in hand, you should play mind rot. Black Cat. So overrated. Extremely overrated. 1/1 for 2 mana is horrible. If you can block a 1 toughness creature, it's awesome, but why would this happen? If you can sacrifice it with the uncommon, great, but it's sort of magical Christmas land. I think bad players are way too reluctant to attack into Black Cat and kill it. Because they fear randomness. You should not fear randomness, you should embrace it, you should attack into Black Cat and kill it, because it's still just a 1/1 and you could lose a land. But look at the cards in your hand. If you have 3 bombs, then maybe you don't attack into Black Cat, but people are way too scared of Black Cat. And Eternal Thirst, I see so many Eternal Thirst played, but it's just an aura. It sets you up to get 2 for 1. It doesn't boost the power and toughness. You won't win any combats. You have to put it on an invasion creature, making that a very juicy target. Overall, I find black very deep, extremely deep, and you should always find playables. So if you can cut your Necrobites and all the cards below it, you should be happy. And I think this card, this color goes best in many colors. I think white-black is the weakest color combination. If you're black-red, you can be very aggressive. If you're black-blue, you can sit back and enjoy. Blue is underdrafted right now, so you can be very defensive with blue-black. And black-green, yeah, the new thing, the dredge deck. Very nice. Overall, I think they did a great job with black this time around. Thank you for watching.